Hello food drawers, how's it going? I'm so energized and positive today, I don't know what got in me. Maybe I'm just so excited to share the third batch of zodiac signs with you. I've already done 2 parts of this, today is part 3. In this series, each video I'll be drawing 3 signs of one element, so there will hopefully be 4 videos total. For each sign, I'll be reading a description of their positive and negative traits, as well as their color palette, and I'll be trying to create a male and a female villain character for each sign. To everyone who asked, do Leo, do Aries, do Sagittarius? Well, I'm not doing that today, because today we're doing water signs. But actually, when I saw what the 3 water signs were, I got mildly triggered because whoever was responsible for categorizing zodiac signs is a brainless, dumb, twisted freak. Because how in the world is Scorpio a water sign? How is Aquarius air? Guy literally has aqua, aka water, in the name. And what does Scorpio have to do with water? Those little bastards live in burning hot deserts. They probably never seen water in their life. Minus 100 points for astrology. Anyways, I'm excited, so make some tea, draw along, eat along, and let's get into it. Let's start off with Pisces. Let's take a look. How others see you, how you see yourself, how you really are. So maybe people see you as being very calm and in control of your emotions. I don't know much about astrology, but I believe that is not quite the reputation Pisces have. I've mostly heard them being described as whiny little babies. Now, to identify yourself as Mother Teresa is pretty bold. I must say, pretty narcissistic even. And in reality, you are a fish. Oh wait, no, you're a small fish inside of a big fish. Right. Okay, positive traits. Imaginative, they like to think outside the box. Kind, fish are usually soft people. Compassionate, always in a helpful mood. Intuitive, and they rely on their intuition when making decisions. Sensitive, moreover, fish are affectionate and gentle. Selfless, although this trait is not always appreciated by others. Negative traits. Escapist, when things go wrong, their luck is responsible. Idealistic, hence even the best sometimes seems like mediocre to them. Oversensitive, it is not hard for them to get very emotional. Pessimistic, especially when things don't turn out the way they expected. Lazy, only for things that don't matter to them. Okay, yeah, that sounds like it. The only Pisces I know is my little brother. That's why I agree that Pisces are whiny little babies, because he is 10 years old. So immediately I thought, well, I cannot create a villain character with that. Pisces can't be villains, look at them. Those guys, they could never. So instead I let them be who they were born to be. Whiny tiny little baby. They are small little mermaids, the big brother and the little sister. I also got carried away with drawing this mermaid in this epic dramatic pose, but I kind of knew I was not going to use her because she was taking too much space on the canvas, so maybe I'll put her somewhere else in the future. But basically the idea is they are such whiny, sensitive babies that their whining causes natural disasters. This boy, he's super sensitive. Literally anything, anywhere, at any time can make him cry. And if he starts crying, his little sister gets very protective and angry, even though she's the younger one, and causes storms and tsunamis and stuff. So technically they're not villains, but because they're so emotionally unstable, the amount of chaos and mass destruction happening at their fault is immense. Honestly, you have no idea the amount of years I've been planning to do Mermaid. If you're unfamiliar, Mermaid is a month-long challenge happening in May where you have prompts for every single day of the month and you have to draw mermaids based on those prompts. Obviously, you don't have to draw a full mermaid every single day. You can just have fun with it and move at your own pace. But I don't think I've ever even gotten around to it. Every spring, I'm like, oh, Mermaid is around the corner. I really want to come up with something this year. But the next thing I know, May has already rolled around and I am so unprepared and unaware and have so much other stuff going on that I just don't have the space and time to participate. And same goes for Inktober and literally any other challenge. Maybe I'm just not made for challenges. Maybe that's the case. Regarding the color palette, this is what the internet gave me. Sea green, lavender, pale blue, soft pastels like baby blues and lilacs. which I agree sounds a lot like Pisces, but man, that's so boring. Drawing a mermaid with blues and pinks is the most basic thing I could imagine, so I was like, no, I'm really not feeling that. I'm sorry. I really don't see them that way. So I thought, what fish is not boring? What's a cool, fun fish? What's a fish so cool they made an entire movie about it? The clownfish. Oh my god, it's so fun and cool. And I love the combination of black, white, and orange, so that's the palette I went with for this piece. They are wearing fish heads. Don't know why, just looks cool. He's wearing these armlets and a
Life boy.
life boy? Is that what you call that in English? I've never heard that. Because he's a little scaredy cat. He's afraid of everything. So his sister got him all this inflatable stuff to make him feel safe, despite the fact that he's a merman and he can swim perfectly fine. Usually in a lot of my pieces, I don't do highlights because A, that's a lot more work and it's really easy to overdo the highlights and make the drawing look much worse, and B, I just love a matte finish. I think it looks very smooth and plastic that way, and I like that. But here, I mean, they are fish, so they kind of have to look wet and slimy and glossy, especially these fish heads and the mermaid tails. So I did dedicate a bit more time to add in a glossy finish, and I must say it turned out so much better than I expected. I really wasn't feeling it at all until I chose the color palette, and then I locked in. But wow, they look so cute. He actually kind of looks like my brother, though not really. My brother is very blonde and does not have a tail also. Okay, let's move on to our second sign, which is Scorpio. How others see you, how you see yourself, how you really are. I haven't watched The Office, but Michael Scott is he's a nice guy, right? Or no? I don't know. You see yourself as Mr. President Obama? That's almost as far-fetched as Mother Teresa. You think you're way too cool. There's no way you're that cool. And who you really are that's just lazy. Anyways, positive traits. Focused. One does not simply divert a Scorpio from his path. Brave. Regardless of how difficult the situation may seem, they will make their best to solve it. Balanced. Passionate but not immature and careless. Faithful. He/she will always stand by you as he/she promised. Ambitious. What motivates them the best are power, position, and money. Intuitive. In fact, they often read other people's mind. Interesting. Negative traits. Jealous and even possessive. Secretive. They just don't trust people. Resentful. Despite their look, a Scorpio can be hurt easily by negative treatment. Manipulative. They love to dominate. Ew. Oh my god. Yeah, now that's a villain if I've ever seen one. Everything about a Scorpio is villainous. I unfortunately, or fortunately actually, don't know any Scorpios, but the general vibe feels intense. Two of these pictures are men in suits, and there is nothing that screams I'm a villain more than men in suit. So the Scorpio villains are gonna be corporate villains. Cause I mean, ambitious, motivated by power, position, and money. Yeah, okay. Think Arasaka Corporation from Cyberpunk. That's the direct reference for these. I've also been listening to the Data Stream by Stupendium while drawing this, so that's what should be playing in your head when you look at this drawing. Let me read you some lyrics to establish the vibe in case you're unfamiliar with the song. We're the light in your screens, we're the lead in your veins, then you wake from your dreams so we can sell them again. In the light we distract with the shiny and new, so you're blind to the fact that the product is you. Cause we see where you are and we see where you go, cause we know what you own and we own what you know. So, you know, like capitalism core. I've handled 1 year at university for business and marketing. Not my vibe. Not my thing. Imagine me working in sales. I'd actually cry. I'd never sell anything to anyone. Like, I'm physically incapable of lying or pretending. If I don't like or don't care about something, it will be written on my face in all caps. You'll immediately tell, oh, she does not believe a word she's saying. That's why I'm so bad at board games where you have to lie. I hate lying. I hate playing Mafia when I'm the Mafia. I hate playing Spy when I'm the Spy. I hate playing Among Us when I'm the imposter. I don't like that. So me and these guys probably would not get along. Although maybe I could learn a thing or two from them, but other than that, no, probably not. The color palette, this is what the internet told me. Commonly associated colors include red, black, and purple, with shades like maroon, burgundy, and dark gray also fitting well. These colors represent Scorpio's intensity, emotional depth, and transformative qualities. Yeah, see, I heavily agree with this color palette. It's very fitting, I think. If it were blues and pinks again, I would lose my mind. So that is pretty much exactly what I did. Red is a very Scorpio color and also my favorite color to use in drawings. I just love using red. It's so deep and juicy and expressive. And this guy is basically if the color red was a person. Actually, this guy is not just a guy. He's my new OC I've been working on. That's why I drew him like fully, because I want to later put this on his character sheet. He's Lix's older brother. He does work in corporate and he is for sure a Scorpio, 100%. So I had to make him a part of this. He's the perfect representation, in my opinion. However, I was really struggling with the girls' design because I obviously wanted them to look formal because they work an office job, but at the same time, I didn't want them to look boring. And she just kept looking very bland. I did not like her face. I've been trying to correct it for literal hours and it still looked wrong. And that is the worst feeling because then comes this drawing blindness where you can no longer form a sober judgment of your own drawing. You can't tell right from wrong. It doesn't look like anything anymore. I hate that. So that happened, and that is, I think, the reason why this drawing took 24 hours is because I've been trying to make her face look good for so long. So what I ended up doing is I just gave her some sick glasses. Did that fix the issues she had with her face? Well, actually, yes, absolutely. I could not be happier. I'm not as happy with them as I am with mermaids. I'm really happy with him, but she's still missing something, and I don't know what. And if that means what I think it means, we're in trouble. Big trouble. And if he's as bananas as you're saying, I'm not taking any chance. Next, we have Cancer. How others see you. How you see yourself. How you really are. So basically, people don't see you. You're invisible to them. That's pretty sad. You see yourself as one-of-a-kind genius. You know, really, really narcissistic self-perceptions today. Really, really up there. And how you really are is... I haven't watched Futurama, but I assume they just mean you are a crab. Thanks, that helps a lot. Let's read the pros and cons. Positive traits. Creative, brilliant ideas are expected from them. Spontaneous, crabs usually rely on their intuition when making decisions. Faithful, moreover, they often do not expect anything in return. Loving and protective, in case a crab loves you, you'll immediately know. Emotional, although sometimes they seem distant and icy. Okay, negative traits. Moody, Cancer-born people tend to suffer from mood swings. Pessimistic, willing to abandon everything if they experience a failure. Clingy, they sometimes find it hard to move on. Over-emotional, imaginary hurts and setbacks are not rarely seen. Suspicions, again, imaginary fear. Okay, alright, so here I really had no idea what I wanted to do and who I wanted these characters to be. With Pisces, I immediately know I wanted to do mermaids. With Scorpio, I knew I wanted to do office people. Here, I was like, man, I don't think I got a good read on them. Although I know quite a few Cancer people, but they literally have nothing in common. How weird is that? It's almost as if astrology isn't. And honestly, looking back at it now, maybe I could have done it way differently, but it is what it is. They are who they are. What I had in mind at first was having the crab parts, crab shells serve as an armor. Not the medieval type of armor, but the ancient primal armor, you know, from back in the days when fire was still kind of a novelty. I wanted them to be wild men hunting for mammoth, because armor was the only way I could think of to incorporate the crab of it all. I really did not want to give them literal crab hands, because that's weird and that brings back some visuals that I would prefer to forget. Thank you so much. And then something rewired in my brain and I went, oh no, they're not wild people. They are bikers, but the savage kind, like Ghost Rider. So they can have their crab armor as protection, because driving a motorcycle is very dangerous. Don't do it or you will die. I'm saying that because these guys are actually already dead. They are ghosts. Two little ghosts who ride their motorcycles along the empty highways at night, and when they see a tired, lonely driver passing by, they lure them into the fog, and no one ever sees them again. They are not inherently evil, they just have the most unhealthy attachment style. They are very possessive and lack human empathy, and they feel very lonely and want company. So they think maybe if we lure those people into the fog towards their demise, they will be friends with us in the underworld. But all they get to see in the end is all those lost, angry souls that never got to drive back home, made to endlessly wander along the empty highway. Because you can't make someone love you. You can't force someone to be your friend. You can't trap people and expect them to be happy about your company. And that is the truth they're not willing to accept. If that sounds like you, well, that's not cute at all, actually. That's a path of a serial killer, I'm pretty sure. So go get professional help. If you actually catch yourself thinking, man, why does no one love me? I wish I could make them love me. I wish I could cast a love spell on them. I wish I could hypnotize them. I wish I could trap them in my house forever so they could love and be my friends forever. Yeah, probably get some help ASAP. The color palette says key colors include soft blues, pale pinks, and calming pastels, as well as the more symbolic white and silver, which represents purity and a clean slate. These colors are meant to evoke a sense of calm, emotional depth, and connection to intuition. It also says something about serenity and emotional well-being, and I think that's what actually all those Cancer people I know have in common, is they don't have those things. They have emotional instability. That's what they have. And their favorite thing to do is getting offended by anything, really. Doesn't matter what you say and how much you try to walk on eggshells around them, they'll find a way to take things personally and get offended by nothing. And it's infuriating. It's so hard to talk to people like that, especially when you want to confront them about something they did wrong, and they just shut down and get offended and stop looking at you like, oh, okay, no, I get it. I'm just so bad and horrible. Okay, I heard you. Don't talk to me if you hate me so much, of course. Christ, oh my God. They'll never accept they're in the wrong. Never. Ever. They're always the victim. They'd rather lose a relationship with you than apologize. They'd rather rip their tongue out than say sorry. That's insane. Sorry, that got a little too personal. That might just be my experience. What they never lack is style, though. They are really good at it. They're always serving, eating, cooking. You'll never catch them in an ugly outfit. And they're actually very kind and friendly, so they always have a lot of people around them. And it is nice being around them, but it is very hard to be their friend. I'd love to spend time in their company, but supporting any kind of steady relationship with them is too emotionally taxing to bear. Yeah, and that's water signs for you. I feel like at this point I completely gave up on my initial goal of wanting to draw these fast. Maybe drawing fast and simple is just not for me. I love overcomplicating things and getting lost in the details, but as long as I like the end result, it's all worth it. And I like it a lot. Now there's only one part of this left, so stay tuned for fire signs. And thank you so much for watching. Let me know which one you think turned out the best. And if you're a water sign, let me know if you agree with the representation. And don't mind anything I said about water signs today, especially Cancer. Those are just common traits I found among people in my life and might have nothing to do with you. Astrology is for fun and not for real. So yeah, hope you have a great day. If you haven't watched previous parts of this, you can go watch them. And good night, good day, goodbye.